Base Goku during the Tournament of Power is far beyond the level he had shown during the Buu Saga. He easily handles Universe 9's trio until they begin working together, at which point the fight becomes more complex. Coordinated teamwork, as shown in the Goku Black arc, can create compound strength far above individual contributors. But even then, Goku and Vegeta, through Super Saiyan transformation, swiftly dismantle their strategy. One added difficulty for Goku is that he can't properly sense the ki of these unfamiliar fighters from the universes, which adds another layer of challenge. He's basically going in blind against several enemies at once. This of course is happening while Goku and Vegeta Super Saiyan Blue is in a heavily suppressed state, which we'll get into later into the video. Following Universe 9's erasure, we also get a clearer idea of Zeno's destructive capabilities. He can erase entire universes, and his reach extends beyond space and time, even into the Null Realm, where the tournament takes place. It's further evident that Zeno's power operates on a scale well beyond even what the gods themselves can manage. Meaning, not only can he erase everyone in the universe, but he also can erase the universe itself while being in the Null Realm. Similar to if you had mod in a video game and you're able to just control alt delete whatever you want. In both versions of the story, the anime and the manga, Goku treats his opponents like puzzles, rarely opening with full power. This is seen again when Kale goes into a berserker state. In the manga, Goku doesn't actually do much against her, and Frieza in his golden form steps in instead. Some say Frieza's confidence was fake bravado, but it's left ambiguous. The anime, on the other hand, presents Kale bulldozing through Super Saiyan Goku like a raging storm. But even then, Goku comes out of the exchange virtually unscathed, and it's obvious that he wasn't going all out in his Super Saiyan Blue form, especially considering how he easily handles Kefla, her fused form, while in Super Saiyan Blue later. Now, if you believe Goku was serious in that fight with Kale, it implies that he had some incredible growth just from bruising the surface of Ultra Instinct Omen, a transformation that grants an enormous boost, possibly surpassing the jump from Super Saiyan 2 to 3. Given that Kefla, like most fusions in the series, is hyped with language that mirrors what's said about Gogeta or Vegito, dozens upon dozens of times stronger in their fusion, you could argue her fusion comes with a hefty multiplier. And yet, Jiren effortlessly eliminates Kale with a single hit, showing just how far beyond her he really is, despite her incredible showings against the others. In a particularly strategic team moment, Goku and Hit take on the Pride Troopers. The focus here is on Dispo, who proves fast enough to tag Hit repeatedly, despite Hit previously being stronger than Kaioken x 10 Goku during the 6 vs 7 match. Topo theorizes that Hit was actually allowing himself to be overwhelmed so that he could set up a trap using his phasing technique. Topo even deduces that Hit's power lets him phase between dimensions, a concept Goku himself hadn't quite grasped back during their first fight. Had it not been for a last second save, Dispo would have been eliminated by this tactic. This implies that Hit, even while outpaced, was several steps ahead strategically. Hit's rapid adaptation becomes another point of interest. Vegeta himself notes that Hit improves rapidly mid-battle, much like a Saiyan. Topo then makes the implication that Dispo moves on a higher tier of speed that most mortals can't track him at all. And yet, Goku using his Super Saiyan God form, not Blue, is fast enough to intercept Dispo. He even uses this form over Blue because of its better stamina control. This also implies Goku might have got 50 times stronger since the second time that Goku and Hit fought, considering that they were both relatively even when Goku was in Blue and didn't use Kaioken. Now, in the Tournament of Power, him and Dispo seem to be relative in his God form. And since Super Saiyan Blue is 50 times that of Super Saiyan God, and God Goku and Hit seem relative here, it could apply a 50 times increase. The next huge display of power comes from Jiren in episodes 109 and 110. What makes this bout immediately jaw-dropping is the fact that Goku's Kamehameha launched at full intensity is nullified by Jiren's sheer aura presence alone. The blast doesn't even reach his body. This isn't a shield or technique, it's the natural energy radiating from Jiren's presence. Android 18 is the one who reacts to it though, so it's fair to question if her statement reflects the scope of what's fully happening. Progressing through the other forms, Super Saiyan Goku can actually land a blow, albeit without causing Jiren to flinch. Even as Super Saiyan 2, he only manages to move Jiren slightly without doing any real harm. At full force in his red-haired god form, Goku's strikes are battered away with a single finger. Despite those attacks under any other conditions carry potential to casually unravel macrocosmic structures and destroy universes. This scene is similar to how Goku was able to use one finger to deflect all of Trunks' attacks that were stronger than Mecha Frieza, which just goes to show you the difference in power between these two at this moment in time. Super Saiyan God Goku could be killed by Jiren with just one finger. However, things ramp up once Goku transitions into Blue and combines it with Kaioken. With that, he finally makes Jiren react, landing blows that send him through Kachin, the hardest material in Universe 7. Even so, Jiren retaliates with bursts of speed so sudden that only one who appears capable of tracking him is Android 17, leaving others like Vegeta and 18 unable to register what even happened. Notably, Jiren still hasn't revealed any visible increase in power. His aura is entirely dominant and he's still in his sealed state, so to speak. The super spirit bomb that follows this moment becomes very pivotal as a benchmark. Goku suggests that it may accomplish what even his Kaioken times 20 blue could not. Still though, Jiren is not impressed. Not only does he stop it, he pushes it back effortlessly, using nothing but his gaze. This is important since Goku was pushing it with all of his power, especially amplifying it beyond its maximum at that point, and it was still negated by a literal glare. After being consumed by the recoil of the Super Spirit Bomb, Goku awakens in the Ultra Instinct sign, and things escalate quickly. As Jiren finally unleashes his aura for the first time, the fight becomes so intense that not even seasoned observers can keep up. During this exchange, the old Supreme Kai makes a particularly striking observation. It's not just the battlefield trembling, but the entire world of Void is being shaken. Since the world of Void is described as being an infinite plane outside of the boundaries of space and time, the implication here is pretty staggering. A lot of skeptics may question how something infinite can be shaken, but the narrative clarifies that it's Goku's energy that is reverberating across the endless space. It isn't just affecting a spot, it's resonating outward into infinity. Given that beings like the Kaioshin can perceive entire macrocosms, it's not far-fetched to assume their commentary on this scale is credible. Even for those weary of interpreting infinite literally, the anime treats the world of Void as a hyperdimensional battle zone for gods, so the feat stands as top tier regardless. Having said that, the anime strongly leans into the idea that Jiren is on a plane of power above the gods of destruction. While the manga echoes this sentiment, it does so with less emphasis, but a later guidebook does double down on it, stating that Goku's completed Ultra Instinct might surpass even Beerus himself. Again though, this only applies to the anime continuity, and given how Dragon Ball loves to revise itself, it's hard to say that this will still be true when the next series returns. Now, one of the more fascinating discussions surrounding Fusamasu is the fact that he merged not just physically, but with the very fabric of space and time. He integrated with reality itself, leading into alternate timelines. Some fans interpret this as a sign of higher dimensional existence, something only achievable by fusing with infinite and transcending conventional physicality. If you subscribe to this dimensional scaling, a being who operates beyond space-time theoretically would outclass any third-dimensional entity regardless of their power. And some have positioned Jiren reaching this kind of threshold as well. His power, as stated by Vados, is capable of transcending time altogether. Shin even remarks that time itself is meaningless to Jiren's strength. Whether this means that his sheer power ignores the rules of time or that he's simply too fast for time-based attacks to work on him is still up to interpretation. Regardless though, it's a bold claim and adds fuel to the debate of whether his feats count as higher dimensional or just absurdly high 3D stats. In episode 112, Goku is so drained that he struggles to even access Super Saiyan, which is interesting when you remember other times during the Dragon Ball Z anime where Goku was beaten and battered but still in Super Saiyan. His control over Super Saiyan was so refined at one point in time it became second nature, but even in his depleted state there's some subtle but profound thing happening. As Goku fights in base, he gradually regains his stamina and his body is used to burning through high energy and octane transformation, which now begins to recharge while moving in lower forms. It's an inverse of the usual dynamic and a rare glimpse at just how his training has evolved over time. Which brings us to episode 113 where Goku begins his clash with Kefla. She powers up into Super Saiyan 2 and despite still being worn out, Goku holds his own in base form. This isn't just a matter of tactics or technique alone, he's clearly striking back with force and absorbing attacks that should be over 100 times that of what a base form Saiyan could endure, using the traditional multipliers. Kefla herself is stronger than Kaba, who was on par with base Vegeta during the Universe 6 tournament. Super Saiyan 2 being 100 times boost puts Goku's performance into perspective. He's massively surpassed his own base level strength from earlier arcs. The idea that he's just outskilling her doesn't hold up when you see him exchange blows directly, tank her hits, and trade punches without relying on tricks or counters. Some suggest that Kefla might have been holding back, but that theory doesn't hold up under closer scrutiny. If she were intentionally pulling back her punches, confusion about not landing hits wouldn't make any sense. Instead, her frustration implies she's going all in and still coming up short. Both of them steady ramp up during the fight, and Goku remarks at one point that he's starting to feel a massive surge of energy building up within him, hinting that even in his depleted state, his potential hasn't even peaked. And it pretty much has to, because the next challenge is now Kale. Now in her refined berserker state, this isn't the wild, uncontrollable rage monster from earlier. This is a focused, overwhelmingly powerful version of that form, officially referred to in some materials as simply a Super Saiyan. When Kale and Kefla realize they're outmatched, they fuse into Kefla, and right away, Kefla is shocked at the depth of her newfound strength, describing it as limitless and rapidly growing. The Batara fusion is noted to amplify the individual's powers by dozens of times, far beyond simple addition. If you break it down using older scaling, like Super Saiyan 3 being a 400 times base, then for Kefla's form to be fighting evenly with Goku's God form, she'd need to have a multiplier even beyond that. This aligns with how the fusion is portrayed, not just an addition of strength, but a compounding amplification. It's even more impressive when you consider that Super Saiyan 3 Goku is able to detect an attack from Kefla that seems to combine the force of Kale and Kefla's powers. There's another nuance in Batara fusion as well that often gets overlooked. According to one of these serious guides, the actual way that the multiplier works isn't static. It's described as the product of the two fighters' strengths, not a flat value. And if said formula is accurate, it means that the stronger the individual components, the more absurd the fusion becomes. It's no wonder that characters like Vegito can become immediate threats to the highest tier of fighters in Dragon Ball Super. It's pretty crazy to think that even after Goku stacks Kaioken on top of Blue, he can't secure the win against Kefla and has to break into Ultra Instinct Omen. This kind of jump is pretty insane, especially considering Whis had said earlier that Kefla's energy output rivaled the same Super Spirit Bomb Goku had fell into. That Spirit Bomb wasn't just Kaioken times 20 blue energy, it had added mass of two blue level power sources colliding and condensing, plus Jiren's insane pressure helping compact it. If that energy was being matched or reflected in Kefla's blows, she essentially clocked Goku with something that might have been equal to 40 times Super Saiyan Blue tier strength or more. Even more mind-blowing, she upgrades further, triggering Super Saiyan 2. This means that by the time Omen Goku is holding his own against Kefla in Super Saiyan 2, she's tanking blows and trading hits with beings dozens upon stronger than what was condensed by the Super Spirit Bomb. Kefla's final rampage during that bout even escalates to where she could one-shot Goku if she landed a clean blow. He avoids this though due raw reaction speed and finesse alone, and eventually countering her with a devastating blast that removes her from the arena, and perhaps defuses her in the process as well. This isn't just a raw power feat, it's precision combat against someone potentially more powerful than Jiren at that moment, at least in attack potency. During their fight, Vados makes a point. Kefla's strength exceeds Goku's, but she doesn't have his finesse. He's more nimble, more instinctual, and that's what tips the scale. Jiren, still meditating, wakes up as Omen evolves during this brawl. The punches may have not damaged Kefla in any visible way, but the fact that they register at all in anime logic mean Goku has far outclassed his previous Omen state. Once that fight concludes, Goku crashes pretty hard. His stamina is completely drained, leaving him unable to access any of his transformations. There's also an odd encounter in episode 118, where Goku and the androids face off against Universe 2. Here, they're hit by an attack called the Pretty Black Hole, a heart-shaped, stylish energy technique described as having gravitational properties so intense that not even light can escape. It's clearly designed as a fictional black hole complete with over-the-top aesthetics. Goku, still in his base form and exhausted, manages to move inside the gravity well, although he can't teleport out using instant transmission. However, upon transforming into Super Saiyan Blue, despite his depleted state, he straight up resists the force entirely and disperses the attack. Whether this black hole should be treated with full real-world physics or not is debatable, but the intention is pretty clear. Goku casually broke free from a massive gravitational force akin to a true black hole while fatigued, and that's not a minor feat. When moving on to episode 121, there's the clash with Aniraza. As we finally enter the climax of the Tournament of Power, the last fighters representing Universe 7 stand ready to face off against Universe 11's final trio, Dispo, Topo, and of course Jiren. When Goku engages with Jiren again, he demonstrates an advanced level of battle intelligence. He deploys a key trap to momentarily restrain Jiren and unleash a series of explosive discs in a clever attempt to ring him out. And it almost works. Jiren narrowly avoids disqualification by landing on a small chunk of debris. This segment also debunks the idea that destructive discs are untouchable. Goku continues pushing Jiren to a point that even the God of Destruction Belmont is shocked. Jiren retaliates with the level of force that knocks Goku straight out of Super Saiyan Blue. One of his punches, so violent and sudden, sends Goku into base form in an instant. Afterwards, Goku remarks that he's never taken a hit like that in his entire life.
In all my years, all my fights, I've never taken an attack like that.
This could refer to the punch that initially broke his form or the pummeling that followed after. If it's the latter, then Goku in his base form just tanks blows that eclipse anything he's ever felt, suggesting he experienced an insane, almost instantaneous spike in durability and toughness. As we arrive at episode 127, Jiren once again becomes the center of attention. His new surge in strength shocks even Goku, who admits he underestimated just how much Jiren had in reserve. This marks a new level for Jiren, clearly surpassing every opponent seen up until now. Vegeta soon takes a last stand against Jiren but fails, paving the way for Goku to ascend once more into Ultra Instinct Omen 3. The anime depiction shows this evolved Goku keeping pace with a Jiren who now boasts speed beyond time or described as being outside of dimensional limits, a level of swiftness not attributed to anyone else up until that point. It's in this state that Goku shows new mastery by transforming his mid-launch Kamehameha into a shield mid-battle. Prior to entering the completed Ultra Instinct form, Goku appears to summon what looks like a galaxy's worth of energy behind him. Although fans speculated that this may have generated a celestial body, closer inspection reveals it's more of a light show stretching beyond the tournament stage, not as enormous as initially seen. What follows this is a beatdown so elegant it rivals fusion tier choreography. The in-universe guidebook later confirms that this version of Goku is stronger than any version prior, which would include Vegito Blue. This sentiment is reinforced when the guide suggests that even Beerus wonders if Goku might have surpassed him. All the gods of destruction rise in unison, acknowledging Goku's transformation. One god even calls his white-haired Goku the strongest being in history at that point in the timeline, firmly cementing his dominance over all prior fusions and forms, even in the monstrous Zamasu form. But in the anime, things go a bit further. Goku's Ultra Instinct pushes Jiren into awakening another level of strength, one that puts him either at Goku's level or possibly even a notch above. This means that Jiren, who already was stronger than the average god of destruction, becomes completely untouchable in raw power. Unfortunately, while Goku may outmatch Jiren in finesse, his new form takes an immense toll. And this is where we see the teamwork amplified strength concept that gets brought up later in the manga and the anime. That teamwork amplified strength concept gets brought up again in both the manga and the anime, and it becomes especially important in the final moments when Goku, 17, and Frieza band together to confront Jiren. Despite being in base form, Goku and Frieza managed to keep up with Android 17, whose ki blasts even connect cleanly with Jiren. Now previously, Android 17 was shown relative to Kaioken x 20 Blue Goku and Evolution Blue Vegeta, which is impressive in its own right, especially considering his infinite energy. A huge debate is whether this finale implies that base Goku is now near the same level he was using Kaioken Blue x 20 or if something else is happening. One theory is that Goku and Frieza's teamwork is multiplying their strength, allowing them to fight above their natural thresholds. There's also the argument that believes that Goku's base state at the end of the tournament might have retained some remnant of Ultra Instinct. Ultimately, while the mechanics are hazy, the overarching truth remains. The finale of the Tournament of Power is filled with unorthodox boosts, spiritual rebounds, and power scaling scenarios that challenge strategical logic. Whether you view it as teamwork, adrenaline, or pure narrative willpower, it works.